Headlines with the ITV Lunchtime News. Good afternoon. Working families in England can claim up to 15 hours of free weekly childcare for their 2-year-olds from today. It's meant to help parents return to work, but Labour has accused the government of making a pledge without a plan, saying the number of childcare places is actually falling. The ministers say the funding is there for places to grow and the scheme will grow too, eventually providing 30 hours of care each week for most children. Olivia Guthrie reports.
The Prime Minister insists today's boost to childcare provisions will bring a brighter future, one that will help grow the economy and save parents up to £6,900 a year. From today, working parents in England can claim 15 hours of free childcare a week for 2-year-olds. This will be extended to babies aged 9 months and older from September, and a year later, that'll be raised to 30 hours a week. The government insists the childcare sector is ready to cope.
When people see that the availability of the money is there, we believe the childcare providers will make the space available, the places available for the children to get their care. So we think it'll fit together. Our last plan worked. We think this plan will work as well.
But Labour say this is a pledge without a plan, accusing the government of creating childcare chaos, where parents face high costs and long waiting lists for places.
There's no greater betrayal than to be promising an entitlement and then not doing what you should be to deliver it. And indeed, on this government's watch, between March and December last year, the number of childcare places has fallen by over 1,000 and the number of providers has fallen as well.
On the back of their new entitlements, tens of thousands of parents are expected to seek childcare places in the coming weeks. Campaigners are warning, though, without extra funding, finding a place for those children might not be so easy. Olivia Guthrie, ITV News.
Now, as it's the 1st of April, there are a host of other changes taking effect, which will impact households' budgets today. Let's start with the good news. The national minimum wage rises today by just over £1 to £11.44 per hour. It applies now to all workers over 21. Younger workers will also get more. And energy bills fall today by more than 12%. That's about £20 a month less for the average user. But most other bills are rising. Council tax by at least 5% in England and Wales, double that for some. In Scotland, however, it will remain frozen. Water bills are going up by an average of 6% across the country. Many broadband and mobile contracts also rise today by up to 8%. And also going up are NHS dental charges by 4% in England, road tax by at least £10 a year, and a TV licence now costs almost £170, an increase of £10.50. More than 250 patients may have died every week last year as a result of long waits in hospital A&E departments in England. That's according to calculations by the Royal College of Emergency Medicine. Well, our reporter Aisha Zahid has more. Aisha, it's a shocking figure. How have they arrived at it?
Really stark figures. The Royal College of Emergency Medicine essentially did a bit of a number crunch on data from last year, and they found that in England there was an excess death for every 72 patients who had to wait in A&E for up to 12 hours. That translates into more than 250 preventable deaths taking place every week. That's 14,000 people who died in A&E unnecessarily, and that risk of death went up for people waiting 5 hours or more. Of course, the longer the waited, the higher the risk was. And to put some context behind this, more than 1 million people were waiting in the A&E for more than 12 hours after the decision had already been made to admit them. Now, all of this comes down to a problem we've spoken about and discussed time and time again, a lack of beds and a long wait time for beds. Dr. Adrian Boyle, one of the senior doctors involved in this report, said that effort and money needs to be put towards where harm is the greatest.
We have the least number of beds of almost any European country per head. The only country that has less beds per head is Sweden, and they get away with this because they've got better social care. So we have a system which doesn't have enough capacity to look after the patients that we need to.
Now, off the back of this, the Department for Health has said that it's going to be adding 5,000 extra beds this winter and that progress is being made to reduce wait times. But these figures paint a very different picture.
Aisha, thank you. Israel's military say they have pulled out of Gaza's largest hospital after a 2-week raid. The IDF say during the operation at the Al-Shifa hospital, they found weapons and killed and detained hundreds of terrorists. The World Health Organization said at least 21 patients died after being moved multiple times during the raid. Here, a new hate crime law has come into effect in Scotland today. The legislation creates a new crime of stirring up hatred relating to age, disability, religion or sexual orientation. The maximum penalty is a prison sentence of 7 years. J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk are among its critics, both claiming the new law could harm free speech. And rescue teams in Cornwall have freed a humpback whale that became entangled in fishermen's ropes. The whale, who they named Ivy, was cut free yesterday evening in Mounts Bay near Penzance. Finally, a burial crypt close to the final resting place of Marilyn Monroe has sold at auction for more than £150,000. A tech billionaire bought the plot in Los Angeles, saying he'd always dreamt of being next to the actress. Also sold one of her lipsticks, which went for more than £5,000, and a dress for more than £100,000. And that is it, Yasmin will be here with all the latest at 6:10. Until then, do have yourselves a great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Everywhere will be lovely and warm today. You might even be tempted to go for a dip. Heinz Seriously Good Mayonnaise sponsors ITV National Weather.
A very good afternoon to you. Mixed conditions as we slide through this Easter Monday. Some sunshine for the luckier ones as we head into a new month. For others, a little more cloud than we'd like, with outbreaks of rain in the next few hours. This is the earlier satellite and radar